want you to take a minute and remind yourself who the fuck you are. You're an achiever. You're a visionary. You burn the rule book and you've made your own rules. You are a powerful creator. You're worthy of an overflowing bank account. You deserve more money than you know what to do with. You're also worthy of hot sex and a life that feels like a vacation. You're a fun, bad bitch, and you're capable of having anything you want as quickly as you choose to have it, because you are a topless manifester. Welcome, I'm Cassie McKenzie, and I'm a business coach for lightworkers, coaches and healers who are here to flip this world fucking upside down. This podcast is for visionaries like you who love to shove your crystals in your bra and laugh your way to the bank. And you're not about to let Mercury retrograde see what's possible or let a full moon take credit for your manifestations, because you have a vision for changing the world, not just inside you, but all around you. And if you're ready to see more clients, money, and freedom manifest into your business and your life at the snap of your finger, then you are in the right place. Let's go topless. Okay, where are you making your life harder than it needs to be? All right, where are you making things harder because you think it has to be perfect before it's powerful? All right, this is what we're going to go with today. This is our question, because I was not about to record this because I felt tired and I kind of had this feeling like nothing was going to feel good enough, but I have this I literally had this thought of like, okay, I have an hour before the kids come home from school. I really want to record some episodes. And to be honest, once they get home, because we don't have a lot of carpets in our house and rugs on our house since we have it up for sale, we have our beautiful house for sale now. And I thought, well, what's the point in putting rugs out if we're just going to get them dirty and have to roll them back up and then move again, right? So I didn't really see the point in that. And, we have these beautiful floors that are like tile floors. So anyway, it's a little bit more like reverby in here than it normally is, especially like when I record things in the trailer. But then also with the kids home, it gets loud in my house. So I really wanted to sit here and record a couple episodes and get them, down and get them programmed up so you guys can listen. But there was this little voice. As soon as I sat down, got everything hooked up, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. Wait, what if it's not good enough? What if this is boring? What if people don't like this? And I was like, oh, my arms started to feel heavy. My legs started to feel heavy. I was just like, I just felt strange. And I started to realize that, this is the exact thing that I need to talk about, because you get the highlight reel online like a mofo. Seriously, people are not willing to show these messy moments in the behind. Messy moments in the behind. I didn't mean it like that. I meant like these messy moments in like the behind the scenes. And you're probably like this too. If you grew up with getting in trouble if you didn't get straight A's, having like the expectations of Jesus Christ himself on your back, that if you didn't do things perfectly, or if you were labeled a gifted kid, then the expectations are so high for you that it leaves no leeway to actually be a person. And you tend to err towards perfectionism and thinking, am I good enough? And that's been honestly like one of my biggest struggles, especially in business. Like when you go out for yourself, on your own, not for yourself, you go out for yourself. Like there's especially if you are in that category of people, like I just, explained, like people like me. I used to blame it on the fact I was a Virgo, and it's actually no, it's the way I was brought up and the way I was treated as a child and the discipline that I would get if I came out of line. And I've spent so many years now, and I still am discovering like who I really am, and that it's okay. This is my life. I get to say what I want, and I'm not taking shit from anybody anymore. And so that pressure to feel perfect is totally normal if you grew up the same way. And if you got like abused or in a lot of trouble for, saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, not being thankful enough, or you got the silent treatment, or you got, What is another one that would happen? You got told, why can't you be more like that other person over there? Why can't you be more like your cousin? Like, she doesn't act like this. And so, it strips you away. And I've made such a big conscious effort to not do that to my kids. I want them to like fully express themselves and be willing, able, and honest with me. Even if it's shit I don't want to hear, I'd rather hear it. I'd rather hear the shit that they're unhappy with, because then I can be a better mom, right? So, but for me, one of the biggest struggles has always been, am I doing a good enough job at XYZ? Am I as good as that other person over there? Is it worth saying this because, is anybody actually going to care? And so it's a thing to unwire, right? To rewire, but it's so rampant, and it separates you from everybody else. Not in a way that's not separating you from them because you're not good enough, but separating you from them because you're choosing it, because you'd rather separate yourself and like step back in certain areas of life that you really want to excel at versus, be rejected. There's all these things that can happen. But what you really need to know and internalize and remind yourself about is that, manifestation shows up in those blah moments, right? The shit you want to happen doesn't show up in some, always there's stars falling from the sky and fucking fireworks going all over the place and like God himself coming down being like, hi, here you go. No, it can be in that messy middle. And the thing is that the real juice of it comes in those moments where the pressure is there, right? But not in the way that you think. It comes in the moments where the pressure is there because the pressure is blocking the flow, and you have the choice. When you put pressure on yourself and on a situation, and I'm not talking about like that taking action that like intuitively you need to do, like you get a download and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna go do that. And you don't stop yourself from doing it. You just go do it. You go take the action, you move on, and shit gets done, right? I am that type of person. And usually it's like with construction things. I'm like, I can go, I'll YouTube this. I'm going to go create it. I can do it. No problem. Boom, it's done. Next. What's next? What's the next problem to solve? But in those moments where it's a situation where I might be personally judged or I might fail and I make it mean something about myself, then, I feel that pressure and it blocks the flow. It's literally that creative energy comes up and, my mind sends messages down that's like, you can't fucking do this. Who do you think you are? And then like your arms and your legs feel heavy because it's literally that, the inner turmoil blocking the flow. And if you just allow yourself to say, I don't accept this, I reject. I'm like, this is not me. This is my conditioning. I know I can do this. I know it's good enough. I'm just going to go for it. I'm doing it. I'm going to take this one little action. And then you get that, you get the momentum going, and that's magnetic, right? So accepting that good enough is good enough, like done is better than perfect, then you can get your shit out there and tweak it along the way. There's nothing to prevent you from, for example, say you are a business owner and you're creating something in Canva for a freebie. And in your mind, it has to be perfect before you can upload it. Just get the shit done. Or you're doing a masterclass, like a webinar or a teaching thing. And you know that you have a tendency to want to perfect things, and maybe it's making you lash out at your husband and get short with your kids and say things you don't want and feel things that you don't want, and you feel this pressure and you can feel it like pulsating inside of you. Just catch yourself in those moments and say, I'm just going to finish this, come back, add what I need to add, like we were, and then be done. Like a good example of this is the other day, we decided it was rainy. It rained like all day Sunday. I've got this 1,000-piece puzzle, and I'm trying to get my kids off of, looking at tablets and iPads and shit like that all the time. And I put this Where's Waldo puzzle out. They freaked out because it was actually super fucking hard, but I made them sit here for like an hour, and then I started doing it with them, and I started putting puzzle pieces together too. And then my husband came in and he started doing it. So the four of us were doing it. And after like an hour and a half, I let the kids just go like, read or play the Nintendo or whatever, like here in the room with us. And I kept going, and I noticed I started to get obsessed with it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't find this one piece. And it was like my brain was just like done braining for a little bit. So I got up and I went in the other room, and I was like making food, and I, poured a Peroni, and I was like checking out the rain and petting the dogs. And about 30 minutes later, like I came back and sat back at the table, and I was watching the kids like game that they were playing. And I found like 5 different pieces then, because I had taken the pressure off, and it was like piece after piece after piece naturally like went into place because I wasn't adding that extra pressure to it. And it's such a great analogy for these life moments where you're putting pressure on your business or putting pressure on, one masterclass or whatever the case may be, or one sales meeting and one interaction. And while, you want to do as best as you can, but there's a point where you've got to allow yourself to let go of the perfectionism so you can just get started on it. And that's what I found for us. Sometimes the big hill can seem so intimidating, but if you're able to just say, I'm putting one foot in front of the other, and I'm going to enjoy it as I go as much as I can. And if eventually you become obsessed with it again, right? So I'll ask again, like, where are you making things harder today because you think it has to be perfect before it's powerful? Because I guarantee you took something away from what I just said, and I didn't overly plan it. I followed like a little outline that I have, but I pretty much let whatever needed to come through. And I know that there's something that you've taken away from what I brought to you. Maybe you see it as a sign. Maybe there's a message you've been looking for. Maybe it was just perfect timing or a confirmation. But this is where, I'm not going to be pretending about that I don't go through these moments too. Because I want you to feel like if I have been able to accomplish what I've been able to accomplish, blah. I can't say a simple word, but I can accomplish quite a lot. If I'm able to do that, then, and in spite of having these like imperfect moments and inner turmoil that I have to work through, then, what does that say about your abilities and how normal it is for you too? And what you might be leaving on the table because, it just takes that extra little push to push through the pressure. And the push isn't doing more. The push is you telling yourself like, good enough is good enough, and let's get fucking going. Right? So let me know what you took away from this. Tag me on Instagram at It's Cassie McKenzie. Leave a 5-star review if you like this. And also, in the show notes, I've added my free 72-hour sales reset. This is for you if you are a business owner and you see that you've been, like maybe your sales have flatlined. Maybe your old customers are not really coming back. You're not seeing the same faces, and maybe your business grew and you feel like you're great at sales, but you're going through a plateau right now. Go ahead and grab it. There's some total magic in there. I literally break down 3 of the top reasons why this happens in a 3-day format for you to fix it for yourself. And as always, if you don't feel like fixing it yourself and you want some more eyes on your prize, right, then let's collapse some time together. And I offer a certain number of VIP days every single month. But once they're gone, and you got to wait till the next month. So these are super helpful for recharging your sales, getting, your client experience sorted out, creating back-end funnels, like really noticing, pinpointing where you're leaving money on the table and addressing that without adding a whole bunch of fucking time onto your plate. Like my goal is to cut down the amount of time you spend working and make it more about having fun in your life while you're making money on the back end, right? And blowing out your business. That's the name of the game here. So I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. You've been listening to the Topless Manifester. Thanks for pushing play today. And if you notice that this episode hit home, then your next step is easy. Go grab my free 72-hour sales reset. It's right down there in the show notes. It's linked right there for you. And if you're ready to feel this shift in your body, then definitely snag my $7 breathwork activation today for magnetizing fuck yes clients to you. And hey, if you're a high-level entrepreneur ready for the VIP treatment, then DM me VIP on Instagram. It's Cassie McKenzie. And until next time, let's go topless.